Okay, it's good. We're good. I see the button. So thank you guys so much for being flexible and moving this to Monday nights. This Monday is going to be a little different than what our regular inspiration Zooms are. In the past, we've listened to some of our other Thriver stories, how they got started, what the product has done for them. But inspiration comes in all different shapes, sizes, forms. And I really think that doing the inspiration right after mindset, and we're already, getting that already dose of real from Krista and Courtney, that inspiration really can just become something even more, growing together as a team. So tonight I wanted to talk about the languages of self-love. A lot of us know about what our love language is with our spouse or our friends, or if we have a friend that loves getting things but we don't feel that way, we would rather have quality time, and we try to show our affection to them in quality time, and it's like we're not even speaking the same language because they don't care about quality time. They want material things, they want gifts, that's how they feel appreciated. And a lot of us, until recently, especially for myself, I didn't even realize that there was self-love languages, that we focus on the people around us. If you're a mom, you're going to focus on what makes my kids feel good, what makes my spouse feel good, what makes my friends feel good. And at the end of the day, the most valuable relationship you can ever have is with yourself. Because at the end of the day, when things get bad, or when friendships fall off, or whatever the case may be, the relationship that you have with yourself, when you look in that mirror, that is what is the most important thing. So being in touch with yourself, finding things that bring you joy, that when someone else doesn't do that for you, you're not sitting sulking about it. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to fill that gap myself. And then we're going to move on with the day, and we are going to be productive, and we are going to do what we need to do. So the self-love languages could be the same as your other love language, or they could be completely opposite. Because you could want, gifts from your spouse, like Valentine's Day comes up, your spouse doesn't get you anything, and you're just like, okay, like I take care of you and wash your clothes like 365 days a year,
Sorry.
and I can't even get a card. But you don't buy yourself things. That's not how you make yourself feel good. So there is a fine line there, but it can also become a little bit overwhelming when you look at all of them, because there are 5. So the 5 is physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, and quality time. And while we're going through this, if you guys want to drop in the chat like what resonates with you, if you think one resonates with you more than the other. As I was going through this, I was writing things down, and as I was writing them down, I don't know their love language, but people were popping in my head like, oh, that sounds like this person, or that sounds like this person. And it may not be their love language. It's just what resonated with me when I read it. So the first one with physical touch is it is, you find peace with your physical body feeling better. So buy a face mask, or you go to the gym, you make your physical body feel good. We pamper ourselves, things like that. That is the physical touch. So feeling loved and focusing on your well-being and your health, that is your love language. Personally, this is my main love language to myself, is physical touch, is going to the gym, is doing that physical thing for myself every single day, is what is going to set me up for the rest of the day. Not everyone is that way at all. Not everyone cares to really do the physical things. They're just like, whatever, I'd rather read a book. And that is where it comes in, because why would you do something that doesn't bring you joy, even if it's important and it should be, balance, balance, but If it doesn't bring you full joy, then find what does and then pour into that. So some ideas that if this resonated with you would be getting a good skincare routine down. I mean, we have some of the best skincare on the market, and that routine is bing, bam, boom. It is so easy. It is so good. Um, this is odd when I read it, but it is so true because I know for myself, um, getting comfortable bedding. And I know people are gonna be like, what? But like, think about when you get in the bed at night after a hard, long day, you're stressed, whatever the case may be, and your bed feels good. Who lays there and goes, man, it feels good to be in this bed. Like, it feels so good to just lay down. Maybe yours is physical touch. Um, Finding a new workout plan. Maybe you're getting bored with what you're doing. Maybe what you're doing, your body's just like, dude, we've been doing this for 6 months. Like, maybe YouTube something. Like, maybe we should do yoga. Like, find something new to excite your body and your mind and just release that stress or whatever the case may be. And making a healthy meal. I know that not everyone is like focused on, like, we should, I mean, we're all in the Zoom, we should all somewhat be focused on healthier, but making like balance once again, but making a healthy meal, going and eating some vegetables, feeling lighter when you get done eating instead of the fried chicken, feeling that lightness within the body, that you're filling your body physically with good nutrients. And all of us should be doing that every single morning. We should, if you get joy out of doing your 3 steps, physical touch is one of your self-love languages because you are taking care of your physical body. So that should be almost all of us. And then the next one would be words of affirmation. And we talk about this so much here, especially, Mindset Zoom. It is when you love hearing compliments, you feel like what you're doing is right and it is effective. But when it comes to self-love language, it's telling yourself. It's sitting down, like, a lot of us talk about how when you wake up in the morning, go look in the mirror. I am worthy. I am happy. I am accepting myself for whatever my past was, and I'm moving forward. Like, all of this we just talked about. These words of affirmations, if that brings you joy, then that is your self-love language. Encouraging yourself all day long. Getting out and breaking those boundaries that we feel like we've been stuck in for so long. So something that you could do is journal. And excuse me, I'll tell you, when I first read this, Tracy popped in my head. The affirmations, the journaling, the time that she spends on herself, and she doesn't hide that. That is the point of self-love, is doing these things for yourself, because when they're done, you are going to feel better and you are going to be pouring that time into you. So some ideas would be to create a daily mantra, write a letter to yourself. And I'll tell you this was where I knew I was going to get choked up. What they said to, like, the idea was to write a story or write a letter to your 5-year-old self and tell her all the things, or him if you're a guy on here, all the things that she deserves to hear. How strong she is, how important, how capable. Writing a letter to your 5-year-old self and believing that all of those things that you are writing down is true, because it is. Because, like we just heard, we weren't born with these feelings of unworthiness. We weren't born with these feelings of doubt. I should have brought a bottle of water. Those things were put to us. And at 5 years old, I promise you, we didn't feel them. So, or if we did, it's something that shouldn't have happened. So writing a letter to your past self and things, and I know that's probably is like, that is such a waste of time, but here it is being open and being completely raw with ourselves. I'm not asking you to write it and broadcast it across Google. Another thing is writing down all of your expectations and dreams in life without judging yourself. If you want, and especially here, if you want whatever it is in life, if you weren't capable of doing it, you wouldn't be thinking about it. So writing down your expectations of life and then not judging yourself, not telling yourself, oh, that's out of reach, or I can't do that. Those are judgments that shouldn't even be there. And I know it's easier said than done. Trust me and believe, I am very new in this journey. But don't judge yourself. Write it down. And before you know it, you'll be checking stuff off and don't even realize that, like, that's real for you. You can also talk to someone you trust and love. Gosh, this is not normal. Like, I said choked up. I didn't mean almost dying on a Zoom.
Go get some water. What are you trying to do to yourself, man?
So anyway, the next one would definitely be acts of service. I know a lot of people, when you think acts of service, you think like we're going to go out and, because a lot of us, and especially for me, when I read act of service, the first thing I think is I'm going to like volunteer at the food bank. This ain't about them. We're talking about us. So like, this is self-love. But that's not where most of our minds go to, because we are taught to do things for others. We're taught to pour into others. We're taught to be kind to others, but we're never taught to be kind to ourselves. So you're doing something for yourself. So if you make your bed for an easier evening, so like you get up in the morning and you're like, you know what, I already know I need to make my bed, because when I try to go get in bed later, I am not going to want to stand in here and make this bed. That is doing an act of service for yourself. Sending yourself a list of things you need because you know you will need it later. I do this. If I think of something and I know I'm going to need it tomorrow, Josh, can you bring me some water? It's easier for me because my mind, I'm going to forget. And especially if you are a planner, if you're writing things in your planner, you're doing yourself acts of service, because you are setting yourself up for a productive day. You are setting yourself up to make it easier to remember something. So even if you didn't know that was a self-love language and you use a planner now for your business or your life in general, you may be an active service self-love person. Meal prepping. I am the world's worst, absolute worst with meal planning or meal prepping. But that is making your life easier for the rest of the week, because if you do the macro thing or whatever, you don't have to change, you don't have to weigh everything every time you eat. So if you are grateful for your past self, then this is probably yours. So if you're grateful for the things you did yesterday to improve your life today, planning, journaling, planning, Tracy. Every time I think of planning, I think of Tracy because she has it all written out. You enjoy setting things up and preparing things for yourself to make it easier later on, right? So that is one of your self-love languages, and you probably already knew that. But when I read it, like I'm telling you, it immediately, like I was like, oh my gosh, the Queen of Planners, like she knows this like the back of her hand. So some ideas would be, and I don't really know how this goes all in, and maybe it resonates with someone else, is making therapy appointments as a part of your self-love, which I don't know if I would put that as acts of service, but making those appointments so that you can talk to someone, that you can do the necessary steps to take care of what was going on. Today. So, The next one will be allowing others to help you around the house or office. That is legit one of the hardest things in my life to be able to do, because I am like control. Like I have to like the towels. The towels have to be folded a certain way. But allowing other people to do things for you, cleaning your house, doing the dishes as soon as they hit the sink. Those are acts of service, because if you do the dishes as soon as they hit the sink, you won't have to do a whole pile of dishes in 2 hours. Thank you. I mean, you're dying. I am sorry, you guys. He was going to let me die on a Zoom. Like, what kind of self-love language is that? So, the next one would be receiving gifts. And when I read this, I was like, that really used to be me. When I didn't really focus on self-care and things like that. It was kind of like the numbing thing, like, oh, I'm gonna go, and it self-cared for a temporary time. And when that money spending was over, what happens? We go back into the resulting feelings of, well, what now? And that's how a lot of people get into bad situations. But when I was reading this, that's the first thing that popped in my mind was like, treat yourself. But that is not what they mean when they say receiving gifts. So it goes beyond that. So it doesn't have to be large purchases. It could be you feel loved and revived through life little indulgences. So you reward yourself for a hard day's work. You buy like new loungewear. I am a sucker for fuzzy socks. If anyone wants to give me a gift, fuzzy socks and fuzzy blankets, like I will be the happiest person in the world. And I buy a new blanket every time I go to the store. Doing masks or paying for online courses to further your education, anything like that. And you also have to remember that you don't have to achieve something to gift yourself. You don't have to achieve something to be worthy of receiving a gift, even if you do it for yourself. So I think that's one of my biggest ones, and I'm not sure about you guys, but you don't have to achieve something to be worthy. You being who you are is enough. If you want to go and get yourself chocolates just because, then go buy the dang chocolates. Like, if that's what makes you feel good, go do it. Calories don't count in self-love languages. Okay, that is the rule, and I'm sticking to it. I'm not saying you guys know what I'm saying, but continuing education, investing in a health coach. If that's something that you've been thinking about, investing in a health coach, or even a financial planner. If you're getting to a point where you really want to start being smarter with like investments and things like that, maybe that is the gift that you need to give yourself, is having someone that is literally their job, like to help you with your financial adventures. I don't even know what to call them because I'm not there yet, but whatever, the investments and stocks and bonds and all that, I am not that person. The next one is definitely, and I'm such a yellow, you guys, it's sad. I cried when I was writing this, because it is quality time. Stop. Spending time with yourself. When I think about this, it is me. I am an ocean baby. If I am near water of any kind, I feel at peace. It is the waves, it is the noise, it is the air. Whatever. I could sit on the beach and just listen to birds. I don't care. But being with yourself, focusing on being present without technology. So taking that time, we can't just go to the beach every day. Go sit somewhere quiet, spend quality time. And I think the biggest thing for me with this was, you need to know the chicken coop. Yes, grounding, right? So this just spoke to me. Like this one really resonated with me because it was focusing on being present and getting to know more about yourself. So paying attention to what sparks joy when you're alone. A lot of us are so busy, like, especially if you do this and you work a full-time job or a part-time job, or even if you're a stay-at-home mom, like I have a full packed busy day. I mean, all of us are busy. We have things that we do, but getting to know what brings us joy when we're alone. So ideas would be, and this is, I laughed when I wrote this one. So pick a random movie on Netflix. There are little things on, I think, Google, and you can do like the spin the number or whatever. And then you go to your Netflix queue and you go, like, let's say it lands on 9, you go pick the 9th movie. Whatever it is, you have to watch it. And I really think that this is going to start being date night after I read that, because what if it lands on something hilarious? It's going to be great. Taking yourself on a date without technology. It said coffee date, but I ain't going to buy no daggone coffee. I might take myself to like dinner or something. Somebody ate like an awful scary movie, like one of those really cheaply made horror movies are the worst. So taking yourself on a date, like whoever's watching the replays, you know, why is she laughing? The chat. But taking yourself on a date, like do those things for yourself. Why do we feel the need always to be surrounded? Maybe sitting down and having just a meal, even if it is, you go, like, let's say you're a mom and you never have a long time. Get in the car. I don't care if you drive to McDonald's. Get an ice cream, get something. Sit in the car and just stop for a minute. You know, let the world stop for a minute. And meditation. If you don't know meditation, there are plenty of guided meditations, I think, on YouTube. That way you're not feeling like out of your comfort zone. And reading a new book, a random book. I need to do this more. I know that we talked about like the leadership things and like focusing on what we do a lot of and what we need to do more of. And this is something that I've really like writing these down. Was I do a lot of certain ones and then I don't do any of them. And the very end says, one may resonate with you more than the other. That's probably your primary driver, but don't skimp on the others, because we need all facets of self-love, and your needs and your previous, your current needs and your future needs will always be different, because we are steadily evolving, or at least we should be. So the things that we need today, we may not need tomorrow. The things that we needed yesterday, we didn't need today. But the things that you realize you do a lot of, keep doing them. But don't skimp on the others, because they all matter. I really hope that this kind of gave you guys some ideas. When I was researching this, I had no clue. And it's probably because I never did a whole lot of research on like regular love languages. My husband and I are just dysfunctional, and it's just been that way. So we're just, you know, going to work better on that. But I think it's very important to know we're taught all the time, all the time. I mean, I can remember back to even kindergarten that be kind to others. Be kind to them as you would want to be treated. You know what I mean? Like treat people as you would want to be treated. And that's pounded into us. But not one time do I ever remember, even a family member ever telling me, treat you the way you want to be treated. Teach other people how you want to be treated by how you treat yourself. Because if you are constantly telling yourself that all this negativity, and I can speak from this, like from the heart, soul, bottom of my stomach. If you are constantly telling yourself all the time that you can't do something, or that you're not worthy of that, or whatever, you are going to push those people away that are going to try to show you that. And then that is going to be the worth that you are setting for yourself in every relationship. whether you know it's happening or not. And before you know it, it's happening so quickly that it's like a wildfire because you didn't recognize what was happening. Um, I I really hope that there is some serious self-love happening in this team because we all deserve it. Every single one of us. And the drivers for this can't be someone else. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and I'm gonna let you guys go because we've been on here and I ramble and I get so fired up about this stuff because it has done wonders for me in the past few months. I mean, like, I'm still obviously working on myself, but I heard a podcast this morning and it was talking about being a thermostat or a thermometer. And the thermometer walks in a room, and if the room is cold, that's what it is. That's how it acts. Whether the thermometer wants to be cold or not, it doesn't have a choice. And that's how a lot of us are. As a thermostat, we set the temperature. So if we walk into a room and that room is negative and that room is cold and that room has all this tension, you don't have to stay in that cold, negative tension. You can smile, say hello. You don't have to carry on a full conversation, but knowing who you are and knowing your values, knowing your standards, knowing how you love yourself and how you're going to love other people is going to change everything. Because when you walk in that room and you smile, and we always talk about attractive marketing, how we want to attract the people that we stand out to, right? That all comes from self-love. Because I've been told 1,000,001 times, when you self-love, it shows. It doesn't show, it shows in a positive way and in a negative way. If we're lacking in the self-love department, go look at your posts. Because that was a hard one for me. But when you start finding something that you wake up every morning and it fires you up and you love yourself and you're proud of yourself and you're making those moves to a better person, all you want to do is inspire other people to make that jump because you are running with fear. You are using that fear that you have sat on for so long as fuel, and it is paying off. And now you are like, you are the wildfire and you are spreading all this happiness and all this joy. And don't think for a second that just because you are this wildfire of happiness and joy that you're not going to have the hard days, because they come. They do. But when you have a whole arsenal of self-love that you can fall back on to say, okay, wait a minute, self-evaluate, what do I need to do to like fix this? What do I need to do? And finding healthy habits, not pushing people away, not completely destroying relationships. Go to the gym, go for a run, go listen to a podcast, turn on Spotify, whatever. Do something that is going to fire you up, that is going to be positive in your life, and just love you, because every single one of you that are on the Zoom obviously want more in whatever facet that you're in right now. And you should, every single one of you should be so proud of the journey that you're on, the movements that you've made since you started. Because I promise you, no matter how long you're in this business, it is going to continue to change. It's going to change you, because there are so many things that are brought to light in this business. And, you know, we got into this going, we just want to feel better. Like, we just want vitamins. Who knew we were going to get a whole world change because of some vitamins? And it really did. When we say life-changing, people are like, you're exaggerating. No, because I would have never, ever, ever sat down and been like, what the heck is a self-love language? If something hadn't been brought to my attention to knock down those glass ceilings that I was living under. So I really, really hope that this was a good one. I hope that I chose a good a good topic. And then next week, we're probably gonna go back to maybe hearing some stories, things like that. And so if you want to share your story on here, or if you're new or not, whatever, just get in contact with me. And we are, I said were like it's the past. I'm like coming down from that like fired up and I'm sweating and now I'm like but yeah, if you guys want to be on this or want to share your stories or have ideas, just let me know and I will just do whatever. So I hope you guys have a great Monday night. Thank you for coming and listening, and I will see you guys next Monday. Bye.